I want to share a medicine story with you today. And in light of everything that's happening in the world, particularly in the United States, I think it's pretty important. This medicine story is about tradition. It's never easy for a culture to change tradition. There are always people, usually the elderly, who are very reluctant to let go of the old ways. This is about adopting new traditions. In this story, tradition is a stubborn old woman. An entire camp was moving across a big river. Almost everyone had crossed, and the last family to go saw an old woman by the riverbank. They were afraid she had been left by her family, and they tried to help her cross. She refused to go and insisted on waiting a while longer. A few braves who were lagging behind came by and began taking off their moccasins to cross the river when they noticed the old woman. One young man said he would carry her over, but she said no. As they were talking, a second group of young men came up, and the first went on across, reminding the second group to bring their grandmother on over. All the young men tried, but she refused them all, except one quiet young man with a contrary bow. Now, in Cheyenne tradition, there are many societies, and the Contrary Warriors Society members carry a contrary bow. They ride into battle backwards on their horse to prove their bravery. Contraries teach what is culturally acceptable through humor, sarcasm, and satire. So they frequently make fun of tradition. The old woman let the contrary carry her over on his back. Tradition is now seen in the light of the contrary. The ability to see the humor and satire in following outdated tradition carries the people's traditions to the other side of the river, and the river symbolizes knowledge. The people come to a universal truth, an enlightenment, a gift. But tradition has refused to cross. The young respect tradition, but she is so stubborn that she will only go with the boy who represents the contrary side of men. It's only when we're able to see the humor, sarcasm, and satire surrounding tradition that we can cross the river of knowledge. When they get across the river, the old woman won't get off the contrary's back. Even when they get to the new camp, she won't get off. The people told him to go to the center of the camp where everyone would try to help get the old woman off his back. And as he walked through the camp, everyone stared at him. He felt ashamed. Tradition hounded him. All the people tried to pull her off, but she wouldn't budge. Finally, Vihio, the knowledgeable fool, said to build a fire in the center of the camp and have the contrary sit with his back to the fire. The people worked together to build the fire, and it worked. The old woman finally got off his back. When everyone sees the humor in following outdated tradition and works together to communicate and find a new way of doing things that everyone can agree on, we can finally make progress. Everyone left and went off to bed for the night, but the old woman stayed in the center of the camp. In the middle of the night, the contrary glanced out of his lodge towards the center of camp and saw a beautiful lodge with a light in it. As he approached, he heard a baby crying and a young mother singing to it. He went back to his bed, and the next morning, all that was at the center of the camp was the old woman again. The young mother and the baby represent the new traditions that the people have not yet learned. These new ways always take time to be adopted by the community. The next night, the contrary stepped out again while everyone was sleeping. Again, he saw a big lodge that was brightly lit in the center of the camp. The contrary went to the lodge and heard the mother tell the baby that his father would soon be coming. The young man entered the lodge, and she gave the baby to him. The contrary is the father of the new traditions. What once was shunned and seen as backwards is now slowly being seen as a new viable way to progress forward. The woman fed the contrary, and they all slept together for the rest of the night. Tradition has many beautiful things to it, and when it mixes with the contrary, new life emerges. When the contrary woke up the next morning, he was all alone. No baby, no woman, not even the old grandmother. He went out searching for clues as to where they had gone. He followed some tracks to a lodge. There he found his son, who was now old enough to sit up. He was excited when his mother told him that his father was there. That night they ate, sat together, and talked. This man takes nourishment from his wife. He loves his baby. He talks with his wife, and by being with these gifts, he grows. He follows the path of his gifts, and he helps his gifts to grow as well. He's not afraid of them. He's not afraid to try new ways of doing things. The next morning, he woke up all alone on the prairie. He followed the tracks of a buffalo cow and her calf until evening, when he saw their lodge. His son was now a toddler. The new traditions, are now growing in the community. He ate with his wife, talked with her, and slept with her. And the next morning, again, he found himself alone. He followed their trail all day, and he rested 4 times, facing a different cardinal direction each time. When he saw the lodge that evening, his son ran to greet him. After they finished eating, his wife explained how she first came to him. She told him that she was first given to him by her father, as she had been given to others before, but that he must pick her and their son out from the rest of the buffalo herd. New traditions are given to us by the Creator, but we must recognize which ones are for us. The boy and his mother gave him clues to help him. They told him it would be dry, but they said he would find water and food. The new traditions will help sustain the people when they are in need. They told him he would be charged by the buffalo 4 times, but that he must not fear or move. Our new ways will be challenged many times, but we must remain firm in our conviction. By using logic and wisdom, we show others better ways to do things, and so each time we're challenged, we're stronger. The next day, when he awoke, he was all alone again, and he came across a buffalo herd. All of the things he had been told happened just as they had said. When he grew very thirsty, a young buffalo moved, and there was water for him to drink in a hoof print. This was his son, his sacred dream for the people, and it quenched his thirst and gave him life. He was charged 4 times, but stood still and showed no fear. You see, we must recognize our gifts, and we can't be afraid to hold fast to our dream. When we know what's right, it's our duty to share this knowledge and to hold tightly to our truth. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like to learn more about the Medicine Wheel teachings, please subscribe to my channel.